Hi, it's Marlee from MarleeWard.com, and today I have got a very special presentation for you. One of the most common questions that I get from the readers of my website is, how do I start? Now that I've got the perfect online business idea, what do I do to get this thing off of the ground? So what I've decided is to put together a 7-day tutorial that's going to walk you through how to get your online presence established. What you want to make sure is that you've got your profitable idea. You also want to make sure that you have a profitable target market. That is, that whoever you're going to be presenting your idea to, which would be your problem or your need that you're fulfilling or your desire that you're meeting, that they would be a market who can actually afford whatever it is that you're offering and that they want whatever it is that you're offering. And then you also want to make sure that you're pairing these things with a profitable business model. Now, if all of these ideas are completely foreign to you, I highly recommend that you swing by my blog at marleeward.com and check out the articles that are listed in the post below this video on the blog, because I've referenced these articles so that if you need to figure out exactly how to come up with a profitable idea, you can read the post on how to do that. Or if you need to figure out how to test a market and see if your idea is a viable idea, you can figure out how to do that too. So all of those resources are all available on marleeward.com for free. But if you've been on the internet for any length of time, you may have heard some things about blogging to grow your online business, and you may have heard of using WordPress so that you can get your site started. And you know that you have to have a credible website, a way to engage with your customers, and of course, a way to get the word out. But if you're like a lot of the people who come to my website and you're new to this, you're thinking, well, where the heck do I start, right? So what follows is the most straightforward, easy to understand, step-by-step action plan to getting your online business up and running in a week. I'm going to hold your hand and walk you through each and every major step you need to establish the foundation for your online presence. So if you have felt totally confused about getting started online, today's your lucky day. So the first thing you need to do is buy a domain. And you probably know that a domain is your web address, and that's what people type into their web browser to find your site. It also serves as the hub of your online business and brand. So your domain name is going to be plastered on everything from your business cards to your social media profiles. So you want to make sure that you select a domain name that fits in with your brand and your marketing objectives. A lot of people think that they can save money by using blogging services like blogger.com or wordpress.com, which is different from a self-hosted WordPress site, to start their online businesses. And this is a big no-no. Not only is it a violation of the terms and conditions of these sites in some cases, but if you're truly going to start an online business that is going to be profitable, you need to take the right steps out of the gate. And this means that you need to pony up the money to purchase a domain and a self-hosted site. But I'm going to talk to you more about hosting in day 2. Once you have chosen your domain, or when you're deciding what to create for your domain, you want to keep in mind that you don't want to be too clever. If you're building a personal brand, you want to purchase a domain using whatever publicly recognizable name you want to be associated with. So that's what I've done here with marleeward.com, hence the domain, marleeward.com, because guess what? I'm Marlee Ward. Shocker. If you're building a business brand, purchase a domain name that matches the name of your business or that clearly identifies the kind of business you're in. So for example, here you see becomeablogger.com, which is a site that's dedicated to teaching people how to build successful businesses around their blogs. And if you didn't know anything about this site, you could have probably easily inferred that it has to do with becoming a blogger based on the domain name alone. Plus, these are probably keywords that their target audience uses to find information on this topic. So having the words become a blogger in their domain name might actually increase their relevancy to Google search engine spiders who are indexing websites for those keywords. Now, there's a lot of debate as to whether or not having keyword-rich domain names influence search engine ranking, and in my experience, having a keyword-rich domain name can help and it can positively impact your search engine ranking, but it is not the end-all and be-all of SEO. So don't freak out if your chosen domain name doesn't contain your keywords. There are many other factors that carry much greater weight in your search engine ranking that you need to be concerned about. And there are websites like prolificliving.com, zenhabits.com, and ittybiz.com that have domain names based on the name of their business alone, and all three of those sites do very well. So here are a few quick tips to help make sure that you get a domain that's going to leverage or increase your chances of success. The first thing you want to do is make sure that you stick to .com domain names only. So don't purchase a .org or a .net or anything other than a .com, especially if someone else already owns a .com site, because you will lose traffic to the original .com domain. Instead, go back to the drawing board and try to come up with something else. You're also going to want to avoid clever spellings or deliberate misspellings, numbers and dashes in your domain name. It might seem really cool and awesome and unique to you, but in all likelihood it's going to be very confusing to others. And it will also make your domain or your URL really hard to share. So keep it simple and straightforward and something that's easy to remember. Following with that principle, keep your domain name as short as possible, because no one remembers or wants to type out really long domain addresses all the time. So the shorter you can make your domain, the better off you are. And lastly, avoid trademark names like iPhone or Amazon or Kindle or anything else that's a big corporation that's trademarked, or anything that's trademarked for that matter, because in all likelihood, once they find out that you're out there and you're making money that's associated with their name, they are going to come after you and they could seek to press charges against you, to obtain money from you, shut down your business, a whole lot of ugly. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you stay away from those things. Once you've decided on your domain, it's time to buy it. I always recommend you go to GoDaddy.com for domains, and for domain names only. I can't stress that enough. Just buy your domain there, okay? The reason I like them for domains is because they don't play domain name funny business, and their pricing is pretty competitive. A lot of other companies who shall remain nameless play nasty domain name games that keep you locked in with their company and can end up charging you an arm and a leg for a domain name. So just take my advice here and go with GoDaddy. There are other reputable companies out there. This is just the one that I use, and so it's the one that I'm recommending. So to make your purchase, you're going to head over to GoDaddy.com, and then in the search box that you see here, you're going to type in the domain you'd like to buy. Once you hit enter, GoDaddy will tell you if the name that you want is available, and it'll also suggest alternatives for you to check out. So if your desired domain name's not available, you have to go back to the drawing board or look at one of the alternatives that they are offering you. Just remember that you don't want to buy a domain that is overtly similar to an existing name, especially one that gets a lot of traffic. You want to make sure that you get something that is unique to you. Once you've found the domain that you like, click Add to Cart and then Continue Registration. And then just follow the prompts to go ahead and set up your account. And you'll need this information when you set up your hosting account tomorrow or in day 2's training. You can generally ignore all of the added features that GoDaddy is going to offer you along the way, and watch out for them because their checkout process is very confusing. So only buy your domain name. They'll have all these added services like privacy, which you can put on there if you like, although there's a debate as to whether or not that has anything to do with ranking because of credibility. So you might not want to make your domain information necessarily private, just associate it with a business address. There may be, certain kinds of protection and all kinds of little add-ons. So just make sure that you're only buying your domain name. I would recommend that you consider paying for a couple of years in advance, because your domain name is registered for a certain period of time. And when Your domain is registered for 5 years. It has more credibility in the eyes of Google or any other search engine for that matter than a domain that's registered for, say, only 1 year. So it kind of shows that you have some intention to stick around. Plus, you won't have to worry about renewing your domain name every year, because if for some reason you forgot to do that, your site would disappear, and that would be kind of lame. And that's it. This is all that you need to do to get started in day one. Get out there and buy your domain. The next thing you're going to have to do is get hosting to attach to your snazzy new domain, and then soon to your website, which we are going to cover very shortly. So I hope that you will check out the next video, which is day 2 on finding a web host. I'm going to tell you exactly where you can do that and what you should do with the information that we got from day 1. If you like this tutorial, please like it, share it with your friends, help out someone else who's a little bit lost in their journey in developing their own web presence. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below this video over at marleeward.com. You can leave comments here on YouTube, but I probably won't be getting back to them as quickly as I'll be getting back to the comments at marleeward.com. So if you have a specific question about anything that I have shared with you here today, go ahead and leave it over there. Thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon.